This is Africa.
My name is Anderson Obiago, originally from Nigeria, been in Texas for almost 30 years, and I'm an African music promoter, event organizer, and I also own an Afrobeats record label called Bigger Entertainment. African music is really special because of the rhythm, because it makes you move, it makes you dance, it makes you happy. You know, it's a message of hope. You know, coming from a dark continent where majority of the people are living in abject poverty, music just gives them hope. In the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s, there was no, Afrobeats wasn't really big out here. African music period wasn't really big out here. Then I was already here in the States, and you can hear the likes of Tupac, Biggie. That was the trend then, you know. So when I came here, I was going to school. So every Christmas, I always traveled back home. So this time I go back home, I listen to the likes of Two-Face, KC, Awilo Logomba, and the rest of them. So when I come back to the States after my Christmas holidays in Africa, it's like the music is gone. And you go to African parties there, African clubs there, they only play American music. So every time I come back with the music. So my friends out here, I play it in my car. When they come to visit, I play it at home. And I can see that they love the rhythm, they love the sound. And, you know, I was looking forward for the right time, the opportunity for me to start finding a way to bring them out here. But, you know, what really sealed it for me was when I went to Canada. A friend of mine was he opened the club in Toronto, Canada. So I went out there to visit, you know, to experience it. And he brought Two-Face. You know, I was there a day before Two-Face flew into Toronto. So I went to the airport, picked up Two-Face. Just that whole experience, you know, knowing that this guy just came all the way from Africa to entertain Africans in Toronto. So, and then that night during the show, it was just amazing. It was just Africans from different parts of Africa, east, west, north, south, just name it. We had Kenyans, we had Nigerians, we had South Africans. It was just the music brought people together, it brought Africans together. Nobody cared about what's your dialect in Africa, what language do you speak in Africa. Everybody was just there for the music. And most of the music he performed was in his language and in broken English. And everybody just vibed to it. And it's like that moment, I was on stage just looking at the reaction from the audience. Everybody kind of forgot. It's like the world stopped for a minute. Like everybody forgot about their bills, their problems. People were just having a great time celebrating Africa. So when I came back to the States, I was like, hey, this has to happen here. I have to find a way to make it happen. So after I came back from Toronto, I called a couple of friends and I told them about my experience. I said, hey, we need to find a way to start doing this out here. I had a great experience because even when I came back from Canada, the music played in my head for like a week. So it was just an amazing experience. So I called my friends. I said, let's come together and see who we can bring. So now the big mistake we made was we now started looking for who knows who. So there was a promoter in New York then that we reached out to. He said he knows Timaya, that he's trying to bring Timaya to America. And then that was when Timaya dropped that song, The Mama Soldier, back in the days. It was a hot record. So we paid a deposit, started promoting the show. There was no social media, there was no Instagram, or social media wasn't really big. So the promotion then was just you print out flyers, handbills, have people go to African weddings, wakekeepings, go to African restaurants, African stores, pass out flyers, you know, put it on people's cars. That's like the guerrilla marketing. That was what we had then. So we were promoting this show really hard. That was the first of a kind. Nothing like that has ever really happened in Dallas. So everybody was excited. Oh, you bring in Timaya? Okay, let's get it. And we promoted the show a week before the show. I called a friend of mine in Abuja. I'm like, hey, I'm throwing my first big concert, my first concert ever. I would like for you to come, if you're not busy, come to America, come to Dallas and, you know, check it out. He said, then he asked me, who you bringing? I said, Timaya. So he was like, Timaya? Then he told me he was at the club with Timaya the night before. And Timaya didn't say anything about America. Wow. I'm like, yeah, he's coming. We have flyers, we're promoting the show. And then he was like, wait a minute, let me add him on this call. So he added Timaya on the call. First thing he asked Timaya, oh, Timaya, you didn't tell me we are going to America next week. Then what? The response just broke my heart. Timaya was like, I never forget this. Timaya was like, which smell in America? Timaya didn't even have a visa. At that time, he's never been to America before. He didn't have a visa. And this guy sold this show to us. And we were promoting this show. And we just to find out a week before the show that it wasn't going to happen. And all these people, the whole city was excited about the show. And it was my very first show ever. So now we went back on the drawing board, thinking and cracking our brains. So someone gave me Two-Face management phone number. So I called the manager, Efe. I said, bro, I know you don't know me, I don't know you, but your artist might be our messiah this time. We need Two-Face to play Timaya in Dallas because everybody is expecting to see Timaya, not Two-Face. So he told me that he told me that Two-Face has a show in Malaysia the weekend before. So if we have to get him, we have to fly him all the way from Malaysia to Dallas for the concert. I was like, we don't have a choice. Let's get him. So he flew down here and he got here 3 days before the show. It was a great experience for us because he didn't give us a hard time. You know, he's just a perfect human being. He's easygoing, no stress, and he was even sympathizing with us. Like, oh wow, how you guys gonna pull this one off? I'm like, okay, let's try. So there was no flyer, no promotion with Two-Face's name or picture on any bill whatsoever. So people bought tickets hoping to see Timaya. So the day of the show, we were now thinking, okay, let's add more artists. Let's give them more than they paid for, so they can just to pacify them. So we brought in. That was when Omotala, the actress, that was when she dropped the record. So we brought Omotala, and then we brought Kelly Handsome. So day of the show, everybody's Eberi Papa, one of Bayelsa is going to be in Dallas. Everybody's excited. Eberi Papa, all the Niger Delta residents here in Dallas. Everybody came out. Some came out in their traditional Niger Delta outfit. Just excited that, you know, this big artist that is from their region is coming to America for the first time. So we got to the concert. Motala performed, Kelly Handsome performed. So we didn't announce Two-Face. You know how usually you say coming to the stage next, Timaya or Two-Face. Nobody said anything. So right after Motala's performance, Two-Face just got on stage. As soon as he got on stage, we were just waiting to see if people are going to start breaking down the building or looking for us to shoot us or something. So guess what? He got on the show. Two-Face got on stage. He killed the show. He killed. Like I'm talking about, everybody was just having fun. And he was on stage for 2 hours. 2 hours. He was dancing, singing. Even he did some kind of comedy too. Like he was just the best experience ever. People were so happy. So right after the show, I was standing outside the building, just waiting for whoever is going to ask for their money back so I can give them back their money. So people are just coming around and saying, oh man, you guys killed it. This is amazing. I hope you guys are going to keep doing this. This is the best experience ever. This is amazing. No negative feedback, zero negative feedback. So that was just what kind of encouraged me to keep doing it, you know. After the Two-Face concert, that was supposed to be Timaya's concert. So after that, I learned a big lesson. I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, you know, as a career, if I'm gonna do this for a long time, I have to find a way to have a relationship with the artists whereby I sign these contracts personally, do the visas personally, so I know they're coming for sure. Not relying on a third party. So what I did after the Two-Face concert, I flew to Nigeria, and I was chasing Timaya. I said, I have to bring Timaya. I have to bring him. Since I disappointed all these fans, all these people, I didn't disappoint them. Obviously, they enjoyed the show, but I still, something inside of me felt like I really need to do that. I really need to bring Timaya. So first of all, I went to Lagos. I chase Timaya everywhere. I go to the club. They say, "Oh, he just left the club." I go to his house. They say, I wait for 3 hours. They say, "No." To the point that they told me he was in Port Harcourt. That he left for Port Harcourt that morning when I got to his house. I flew to Port Harcourt. And this guy made me wait in the lobby for like 3 hours. I finished a bottle of red wine. I'm not playing, just waiting on Timaya. So I was, you see them on TV. You think like you think that they're built, their build is like really huge. So I'm sitting there. This guy has tormented me for 3-4 days, looking all over Nigeria for him. So then he walked into the restaurant, the hotel restaurant where I was waiting for him. He just walked in arrogantly, like, now you they wait for me. How far? I'm like, you're not even gonna apologize or nothing. Like, what are you talking about? Just say you're sorry or something. That was how my journey through music really started. So from there we started, we became friends, and I did their work permit, and then brought him out here with Bracket, and we did a tour of here. I think we toured the United States and then toured Canada that year. That was an amazing experience. So that was my actual first tour, where it wasn't just in Dallas, it was just traveling all over the United States, just understanding the music more, understanding the music from the artist's point of view, from production to songwriting. Because I think that year, the Rebirth album, he wrote and produced most of those albums while we were on tour here in the United States. So I kind of understood how Afrobeats worked, So it was a great experience for me. African Music Magazine was I think at that time it was needed. It was really needed, because then people didn't know much about African music. People didn't know, if you hear African music, you don't even know where to go find it. You don't even know where to look up a song. Unlike today, you can find everything on social media. Social media wasn't, I think then we had Facebook, but it wasn't very popular, and MySpace back in the day. So people were getting to hear the music more often. So I felt like there was a need for us to have that one-stop shop where you can come to and understand what's happening in Africa musically. Who's the hottest artist? Understand which regions, what are the genres, because Afrobeats is not the only genre in Africa. There are multiple genres from different parts of Africa. So just where you can go and get that in-depth knowledge of African music. Who's hot, who's the richest artist, who's driving the best car, the lifestyle, who's musically the best, just everything about African music. You go in there, you find out what you need to know about African music. African music African music didn't just showcase the musicians, the artists. It also showcased everybody involved in African music, from the producers to the songwriters to the dancers. I think we were pretty much the first magazine, the first African music platform that ever showcased African dancers as an interim, like as a very important part of African music. Because without the dancers, the music is good, but the dancers with the steps, with the moves, makes you fall in love with it, with the genre. So we had everybody from dancers to producers to songwriters to even makeup artists, just name it. Everybody that comes together, the video directors, the video producers, just name it. We had everybody, like everything you need to know about the music. In the 90s and then to the 2000s, the music wasn't, the genre wasn't really huge out here, but some of the big African artists were already making strides across the world. We are beginning to pay attention to the music, like people like Wizkid and the rest of them, P Square. They were already getting nominated, at international awards like MTV, BET. But working with these artists, traveling with them, I see that they're not really happy with the way they were being treated at these awards, because when they're nominated, okay, but the ones that win, sometimes most of the time they give them the award at the pre-show, when there's nobody there backstage. They just hand it to them like they're nobody, like these people are representing the whole continent, So we came together, and then me and my team, we decided, hey, we're gonna create something for us, something that is from us by us, something that we can just create a platform for these amazing artists and, honor them for their hard work and, appreciate what they do to uplift Africa through music, What makes AFRIMMA, African Music Magazine Award, what makes it so unique is that it's not just a regional award. It doesn't cover East, West. This is the whole of Africa. It's just that voice for African music, where you could be from a country in Africa with maybe 20,000 population, and then you're from another country in Africa with 300 million people, but you know that AFRIMMA is going to find you where you are and look at your work and consider your work worthy of celebrating. So it just makes I say it's AFRIMMA unites Africa through music. The tagline for AFRIMMA is crossing boundaries with music, and that's exactly what it is. We're crossing boundaries with music, moving the music from Africa to the rest of the world, just spreading the good, the good news, the great music, the great people. Because the music you can introduce. There's no better way to introduce people to your culture than through music and fashion, and maybe food. So the music gives us some kind of soft landing to start the conversation. Oh, I like that song. Where's that song from? Oh, it's from Africa. It's this artist from. Oh, where's Africa? Oh, where's Nigeria? Then you start the conversation. So people fall in love with the music, with the artists, and now, before they know it, they're falling in love with the whole country, with the whole continent. So it's just the music. The music leads you there. So we're crossing those boundaries, breaking those borders through music. There's a lot of challenges trying to promote something that wasn't really here before in America. Like, they still don't, most of the corporations that are supposed to be behind the brand, most of the big brands that are supposed to be supporting the music, sponsorship and the rest of it, they still don't believe in Africa. They still don't really understand some of them don't even know what they think Africa is a country. I'm talking about big CEOs and big corporations in America still don't understand that we have the kind of population we have here. They don't even understand they don't even understand how big Africa is. That just a country in Africa like Nigeria has a population of almost 300 million people. So it's the music, we keep preaching it, we keep selling it, we keep knocking on those doors. It's gradually opening, but not as fast as it should. But one day we're definitely going to get there. African music has really evolved, trust me. I can tell you that from when I started promoting African music here in America, in diaspora, I can tell you now, then it wasn't cool to even listen to African music. Sometimes you played, when I was in college, some people were asking, what is that noise? What is that noise you're playing? But now, there's no better time to be African than now. I can tell you that. Like, everybody, you go to the mall, they play. I can never forget the first time I heard African music on mainstream radio. That was K104 in Dallas. That was Oliver Twist by the band. I felt like I won the lottery or something. I was just driving to work, and then boom, this cat it was on K104, I think it was Cat Daddy. He's like, this cat from Africa, he's hard, the song is crazy, it's the branch. Boom, Oliver Twist. I was like, what? I started calling everybody, oh, tune into this, oh, they're playing Oliver Twist. So right now, now it's nothing. Like, I get in my car now, if they play 4 or 5 songs, you're gonna hear a Thames, you're gonna hear Whiskey, a Burna Boy, a Davido. I think Afrobeats, African music have really arrived. It's almost there, but it's gonna take over. It's different. It's refreshing, and they're never gonna get tired of it. So because there's not one particular pattern to Afrobeat. You have the Amapiano. There's too many genres, but everything is labeled Afrobeats. It's too many genres buried inside that genre Afrobeat. So the minute you think, oh, I'm getting tired of this sound, boom, somebody will add a twist to it. Just like the Amapiano, KC from Nigeria just added a new one called Ojapiano, and it's like the #1 song now in Africa. And it's Afrobeats, it's Amapiano, and it's Ojapiano. So it's like 3, 4, 5 genres in one. So I think it's taking over. It's gonna get it. Everybody's loving it now. The big artists are performing at the World Cup. The biggest African artists are performing at every major platform here in America, internationally. So, yeah, I remember. I think that was 2017 or 18 AFRIMMA, and we nominated these young kids from Uganda, the ghetto kids. They're dancers. I'm sure everybody see them on their timeline on social media. So once we nominated them, I told my group, we have to get these kids. We have to get them here in America. And then we started making calls and reached out to their management. And then boom, they are here on stage at AFRIMMA. And I think, that year they won the best African dance group at AFRIMMA. And it was their first time in America and their first ever international award. And I will never forget the smile on their faces. They were just losing it on stage, It was just a great experience, yeah. I also remember this artist from South Africa, Master KG. He was nominated. I think he was nominated for the best song, AFRIMMA best song of the year at AFRIMMA that year. So we brought him from Africa, but he'd never been to America before. He's never performed on any major stage, but he had the number one song in the world. So we made that possible. Just seeing these kids with ambition and hope come out here, grace the stage, AFRIMMA stage, and then their careers taken off from there. That's why we do it. That's the best feeling in the world. And I also remember Rema from Nigeria. Rema, he's huge now. He has that big song with Selena Gomez. I brought him to America the first time on tour, and then we did the tour. We did a couple of cities here, a lot of cities here in America, and then that year he was nominated for, I think, Best New Artist, and he won the award. That was his first time here, and just seeing him now and how his career has really taken off and evolved, it's just nothing but amazing, And another big artist now that then AFRIMMA brought to America for the first time, and now he's like in every household. His music is in every household, and he's the biggest artist in East Africa. Diamond Platinums. I remember the first time he came to America was through AFRIMMA, and then him gracing the stage, winning. I think he won the Best Male East Africa or AFRIMMA award that year, and then he went back home. He was like he won the World Cup. Like he had this massive crowd came to the airport. There was a procession all across Tanzania. And then even the president, kind of mentioned AFRIMMA, like it was just that experience, knowing that these kids will come out here and from there their careers take off. That's from us by us, Fubu. And then another great artist who's like a legend now that we've worked with was Fally Ipupa. I remember the first time, that was the very first AFRIMMA. When he came to AFRIMMA and then he got on stage, everybody went crazy. I was like, whoa, he can dance, he can sing, he's just full of talent. And, just watching his people come to AFRIMMA just to worship him like a god. Like, I'm like, this is what we've been missing all these years. And, AFRIMMA, that's what it does. It brings people together it doesn't matter what region in Africa. As long as you are an artist, you have hope, you have dreams, and if you keep poking at it and working really hard, you're definitely gonna get there. So AFRIMMA also gives you that hope that if these guys from my village, from my community can get here, one day if I work hard and stay resilient, I'm gonna get there. I remember Davido, OBO. I remember Davido, he's one of my favorite artists, and I remember doing his first tour. I just finished Inyanya's tour here in America. Then I went back to Nigeria during the Christmas holiday, and he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, I think we need to work." So I went to his house. We had a conversation about it there, and then we signed the contract, the very first tour. And then he was young. I think he should be he was like 18 years old then, or about 18 or 19 years old. But one thing I loved about him was just his work ethics. He can party all night. He can do whatever. But when it's time for that show, I'm telling you, David is going to be the first person ready and waiting in the lobby for the driver to come get him. There was a show. I think it was in Minnesota. We went to a show in Minnesota. So I'm the promoter. So I'm the one talking to the guy that bought the show. So I'm the one that's going to be ready to go to the show. They can't get ready before me because they don't know where they're going. They don't even know who the promoter is. So I was taking my time in my room trying to get ready, waiting for the promoter to call me. So boom, I got ready, went downstairs. The lobby was empty. So I was now calling everybody. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? They told me that David is about to get on stage. I said, how are you going to go on stage without me? I'm like, how are you going to go on stage without me? Like he has that passion for it. Like if it's showtime, he got to go. When he has to go, he has to go. Like I've never throughout that tour. We did America, we did Canada, we did almost 20 cities, And every city we went to, he was itching to get on stage. And he was really big. Like that, he's bigger now, but then he was also very big. Like most artists will tell you, oh, my DJ should go to sound check, my manager should go to sound check. David went to every single sound check. I don't care how big the venue is, I don't care how small the venue is. He wants, like, you can see the passion. You know what I'm saying? He will go there and he will do the sound check, and as soon as he gets to the hotel, he's gonna take a shower and be downstairs waiting for you in the lobby to go to the show. You know, it's just his work ethics. Okay, I remember this rapper from Kenya, Calligraph Jones. At that year, he was like the biggest rapper from that region, and we brought him to America the first time for AFRIMMA, and then just him coming here, I think I met him at the lobby of the hotel where they were staying, and he took me to the side. He said, "Man, I really do appreciate this opportunity. This is everything." Just being for us, for AFRIMMA, being able to do that for this artist is an amazing experience. There's nothing like it. Just them knowing that, okay, we can work hard and do this. That's hope. That's people. Nobody can live without hope. You have to hope, then you aspire to get there. You dream. But coming from where we came from, where dreams turn to nightmare, but here you know that, hey, if I work hard and my work speaks for itself, I can get there. So that's what it does that's what AFRIMMA, that platform that it provides. Flavor is one of the greatest artists. I will always tell you that. Like, this guy is super duper talented, and he has passion, and he's so humble. Like, he is so humble. He writes his music, he produces, he plays all kinds of instruments. I remember when I first brought him to America on tour, first time meeting him, he came, we had a show here in Dallas, he was at a club. So he insisted he was going to perform with a band. Most people will come and just do playback. He said, bro, I'm performing. I said, but you don't have a band. He said, put together, he just needs a keyboardist, a drummer, and a guitarist. That's all he needs. So guess what? They flew into New York, from New York to Dallas, got to the venue 4 hours before the show. He met this young instrumentalist that he's never played with before. They never ever, some of them haven't even heard his music before. In 3 hours, they were doing the songs. They were playing all his music. He played all the instruments. He told them what to do. He taught them whatever needed to be done. So after this, I was still worried about it. I said, bro, it's not even late for us to even do playback. Are you sure you're confident about this show? Bro, he came to the show started. This brother played with a band he's never met before for an hour, 30 minutes. How is that possible? And then I remember when we were on tour, it was Montreal. I think we all stayed at a mansion. So, after the show, we went to the after party. After the after party, we got back to the house. So we got to the house almost around 5 a.m. And my room was upstairs. His room was downstairs. So I was trying to go to sleep, but I kept hearing this music. I thought someone left the TV on or the radio on or something. So I went downstairs. Guess what? Flavor, around 6 in the morning, had this guitar. He was playing music. I'm talking about someone that performed for like an hour plus, went to the after party. I'm talking about, we did the sound check first, went to the show, went to the after party. At 5, 6 in the morning, he's still playing music. Like, what is wrong with you? So it's just, he's one of the greatest. He's still gonna be one of the greatest ever to do it, for real. Okay, I remember that year, Casey dropped that song Limpopo. He was everywhere. I went to Nigeria, I chased him around. I said, hey, bro, it's time, let's go. And then he understands the business. He's like an OG in the game, so he's like, hey, let's do it. And it was just a very smooth transaction. Like, everything was good. But one thing I liked about him was that he wasn't really worried about just him. That was one of the artists that I worked with that was just worried about the team. He was like, oh, you have to bring my boys with me. You have to bring Skibby. You have to bring Harrison. I said, but you are the person they want to see. You have Limpopo. Most of those songs, they're not playing it here in America. He said, no, this is the five-star music. So if you want him and you really want him, you have to bring his team. So we ended up doing work permit for the rest of the crew, and then they all came on tour, and it was very successful. I remember we did America, and then we did Canada. It was just an amazing experience, you know. So if you leave your crew behind, you're not bringing Africa together. So that's why today, most of the artists I bring now, the ones that have artists on their label, I always bring them with the whole team. It's not just gonna be the artist alone. And Casey was the one that made me understand that. And then during Inyanya store, they brought Techno, and they brought Imanaira, and then Techno had one song, just one song. Imanaira, I think, had one song too. But they all performed in these cities. Every city we went to, they all performed. That year at AFRIMMA, they all performed at AFRIMMA too. So it's just, you know, the teamwork, just carrying your team along. That's you can in music. You cannot leave that behind at all. I think music is hope for Africa. Music. I tell people every day that without music, the crime level in Africa would have been 10,000% more. Because right now everybody's doing music in Africa, because they see it as an outlet. They see it as hope. I can sing. Let me sing at least. Even if you can't sing, you dance. Even if you're not a dancer, I can be a producer. Even if you can't be a producer, I can write songs. Even if I can't write songs, I can play in a band. Just think about it. Everywhere in Africa now, there's no family you go to in Africa. I can tell you that for a fact. In Africa, that you don't have one person doing something in music, one thing or the other in music. Either they are dancing, or they even shooting music videos, or they following an artist. They're part of an artist entourage. They're making a living doing that. Just think about it. Think about the kind of money that these our artists today. How much money they add to the country's GDP. Think about it. Burna Boy the other day got paid $2 million to perform at a soccer event in Europe. Think about it. There's no way 50% of that money is not going back to Africa. Think about it. So it's just that, imagine if we had good government in Africa. Imagine if we had good government in Africa. Imagine if there is a platform that encourages this young creative, these young artists, these young musicians, these young entertainers. Just think about how great Africa would be right now. But we're worried about the oil, the gold, the this, the that, which is, to me, is more like a cost to Africa, you know? African music is never going to die. It's here to stay. It's not going to be like the reggae genre, the dancehall genre. You're talking about the people, the number of people. Just think about Africa alone, consuming that music in Africa. You have a population, just Nigeria, of almost 300 million people. You go to Nigeria now, just Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. Let me give you an instance with Nigeria. I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria. You go to the eastern part of Nigeria, there are some artists in the eastern part of Nigeria I've never heard of before. And then one day someone sends me a DM, hey Biggie, I can't wait to work with you one day. And I go to his page, he has 1 million followers. And I've never heard of him before. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the music, there are people there to consume the music. There's numbers. And right now, the music is spreading like wildfire. And they're never going to get tired of it, because it's not going to be like reggae. Whenever you hear a reggae beat, you know it's reggae beat. Whenever you hear a dancehall beat, it's the same thing. In Africa, you go to Africa right now, there is Oja piano, there's Amapiano, there is Kola piano, there is Mon piano, there is... Just think about it. Just only the genres with piano is about maybe 5 or 6. Then you think about the other genres, like when you go to Kenya, they have like maybe 10, 20 different. You go to Tanzania, so you can never. Then the Central Africa, the Falis, you can, and the music has rhythm. It has dance in it. It has, like, it's just life. So it's here to stay, and I'm not surprised the way they're eating it up out here in diaspora, because even Africans, we get excited when we hear a new genre that just came out, or when we see a new artist drop something. They know a way to add twist to it. So it's always refreshing. They're not gonna get tired of it. I remember last year was it last year or 2 years ago at the Grammys, the best reggae band was a white band. The white band won the best reggae group at the Grammys. Like, what are you kidding me? How did that happen? So, but I don't think that will happen in Afrobeats, because we have the numbers, the artists, they always find ways to reinvent themselves. They always find ways to make it refreshing and exciting. They always find ways to add a twist to it. So it's not always, it's never gonna be boring. So it's like you hear it today, it might be a slow beat, the next minute is a fast beat, the next minute is a piano, oja piano, some piano, and they're gonna keep changing it and twisting it that you just wouldn't have a choice but fall in love with it. My passion for music is just the happiness and joy that it brings to people. Just knowing that, people might be, whatever you're going through, there's music for it. It's therapy. Even if you don't have food to eat right now, there's a song you can listen to that will tell you, oh, tomorrow is going to be better. The food is coming in the morning. It's just joy. And then even if it sells hope. Music gives you hope. And, they have different kinds of music for whatever you're going through. In Africa, there are songs that will tell you worship and praise. You get in there, you're depressed, you listen to the African worship and praise, you're like, what am I talking about? Oh, this person, in this song, this person didn't even have legs, talk less of shoes, but I have legs and I'm worried about shoes. So it's like, there's always a message in it. That's why you don't see a lot of Africans killing themselves. The music is so beautiful. You dance. Have you gone to an African party and watch people dance and spray money and just people are just happy? It's a message in it. It's joy, it's hope, it's love. So it just brings people together too. So that's why I do what I do. I have passion for it. I love it, and I don't think I'm ever gonna stop doing it. My name is Anderson Obiago, aka Big A, aka Hustler. I'm just a young man from Africa with big dreams, and came out here to America and fell in love with African music, African culture, just being African. And I just found a way to bring a couple of people together that believed in the vision, and 15 years later we're here. And the music is on the radio, the music is on TV. Africa is here now. Like when I came to America, it wasn't cool to be African. I remember when I first came from Nigeria here in Dallas, on Sundays I go to church. I came with a couple of African outfits. So I go to church. Back home, when you go to church, you wear your African outfit. So I wore my African outfit. We went to church. After church, my brother was like, hey, let's stop at the grocery store, pick up some groceries. So I walked into the grocery store, this little kid at the counter when we were trying to pay to check out. This little kid kept looking at me. Mom, what is he wearing? Is he a man or a girl? So then I was like, wow. I didn't wear African outfits again for like 2 years. But now I wear my African outfit to the mall. I wear it to parties. I wear it everywhere. Guess what? Now it's like, where can I get it? Where can I get it? I love this because we brought the culture here. We can't leave the culture back home. Africa is here to stay, and we're here. Like what I'm wearing right now. This is from an African designer. It's made in Africa. See how authentic it is? You can't find it anywhere here. So I wear it all day. I wear African every day. Right here is Fela Kuti, the creator of Afrobeats, the originator. Yep. Big A growing up was just another knucklehead kid, just playing around after school. Wouldn't get home on time, playing with other kids. But I always wanted to be something. I always had passion. I knew I was gonna be somebody. I knew it from the get-go. I was just a big dreamer. Then I used to go to sleep, wake up. I used to go to sleep, dream of like being a president of a country. I don't even know where. Then I wake up and I'm playing president in my house as a kid. So I just knew like I just felt like I'm not just gonna exist. I'm not just gonna come to the surface of the earth and occupy space and then disappear one day. I felt like I was just gonna make some kind of impact, but it has to be a positive impact. I'm still a rookie. I'm still getting started. I just turned 50 last month. I'm still a baby. I'm still learning every day. Like I'm trying to get there. One day, hopefully, we get there in our lifetime. Like we still have a lot of work to do. Making sure the music is good here. But there are still a lot of musicians out there that are still struggling. They're good. They're better than the best that you hear on the radio, but there is they don't have access to resources. They don't have access to what they need to get there. But they're good. There are 1,010,000 Wizkids in a population of almost 300 million people that you never heard of before. You go there to Nigeria, you go there to Africa, you travel, you see them. And I just want to do more of those music seminars. I want to go to rural places in Africa and do music workshops. I did one in Botswana a couple of years ago before the pandemic, where you go get all these young talents, bring them in the room, sell this dream to them, just sell it to them, let them understand that their dreams are valid. Because some of them, they try and at some point they're helpless, at some point they lose hope, but you can tell them with just a phone. Once you have a phone and you have talent, one day somebody's gonna hear you. There are so many. It's not like when we started doing music, when you produce the music, you have to go to a proper studio to produce the music. Then you have to go to radio stations and stand outside and beg the people queuing in the music to cue in your music. Now you can make music in your room and release it from that room once you have a phone. So their dreams are valid. The government is not helping, but at some point I just want to do more. I really want to. There are so many times I gave up, maybe 1,000,000 times and 10,000 times. Giving up, of course, yes. When I started, I was working like 2-3 jobs, and I make money, and I put it in an artist tour. I bring an artist from Africa. Just because I believe in the music doesn't mean everybody believed in it then. And I bring an artist because I love your music doesn't mean everybody out here know you. But I just had that passion. I was bringing literally everybody, because I feel like they can love you if they don't hear you. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like they don't, like, you have to give them that opportunity for people to be the judge. Put them out there, give them that platform. Then it depends on their fans to stay with them. So I tried to quit 1,010,000 times. AFRIMMA never made money. It was just, I kept doing it every year. I kept doing it, just seeing those kids come out here to America for the first time, win these awards, and go back home and look at the reception and look at where it takes their career to. Why would you stop it? You know, the companies out here, they're not really into it. They don't understand our numbers, but we have those huge numbers. But we're gonna keep knocking on those doors till they're eventually gonna open it. They're opening it a little bit now, but we're just gonna bust it open at some point, you know. Also, sometimes you have to be patient with these artists. I've worked with artists that, you pick them up, do their work permits, bring them out here. At some point, you get carried away thinking, oh, they're supposed to be professionals. No, they're not supposed to be professionals. They were nobody 6 months before. They just had a hit record. This was someone that maybe had 10 or maybe 100 followers 6 months prior. Now they have 2 million followers. You also have to understand that they're going through something. Like, I had to understand it's not always going to be business with them. Sometimes there has to be some element of mentorship. You have to mentor them and understand where they could. Just think about it. You wake up tomorrow, you have 2 million followers from 100 followers, and everybody is in your DM, everybody's in your comment section telling you what you really want to hear. You are God, you are king, you are this, you're that. So some of them, when they come out here, they're just new in the game, and they're very arrogant. They do, not like they really want to be arrogant. It's fame. Fame is the worst drug ever. So sometimes I have to play that father role. Hey, bro, you need to calm down a little bit. This is just this record. If there's no follow-up record, it's over. You know what I mean? And some of them will listen, and before the end of that tour, sometimes they're here for like a month and a half. Before the end of the tour, you can see the changes. You can see them understanding that, hey, this can be temporary if I don't watch my steps. And just the mentorship part, like, I love that's one role I can't trade for anything.